All right, guys, what is going on? My name is Joe, aka Cap.
I'm Dom.
Top Dash.
And I'm Francis, bitch.
And this is the fucking push.
Whoa.
What?
Guys, language.
What? Oh, I'm sorry. Do you not like that I was cursing?
Yeah, we're using.
You don't like that I'm cursing? Well, you know what? Fuck you guys, because this is a new era of WWE. Yeah, that's right. We're edgy now because we say curse words and we bleed and other stuff.
We will not be psychopaths.
And villains and heels are psychos again.
Villains are cool, you guys.
Remember that, kids. Villains are cool. Oh, wait a minute. Kids aren't allowed anymore. Because we're edgy now.
We're the bad boys.
Oh, God.
That was painful.
That was, alright. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I started to, I could feel, like, my hair getting blacker the second I said that. It was like every waking second I could feel my hair growing longer over one eye for some reason.
Nah, it's cool. I don't think we were going that edgy.
Anyway, guys, welcome back to The Push. We're back again, another episode. We got a couple of interesting stories to talk about today. We got to have a couple of interesting conversations, I think. Guys, we are officially in a new era for WWE.
The tide has changed.
Long gone are the ways of the PG era, and as we saw on Monday Night Raw, we are in, I'm still going to call it the Renaissance era, because to be honest with you, I know people are saying like, oh, this is just like the Attitude Era again, and stuff like that. I'm going to be honest with you, if they keep going the way we're going, we're looking at an era that's possibly even better.
Oh, 100%.
The Renaissance era has gotten better from yesterday or 2 days ago.
I wouldn't necessarily call it a renaissance because if you want to get super technical, that was like the 80s or 90s. But I get what you're going for.
It could be like a new Renaissance era, I'd say.
Yeah. It's reinventing the old. It's taking stuff from the Attitude Era and Ruthless Aggression, like you said earlier, Cap, and reconstructing it.
Yeah, we were having a conversation before we got on before, but
like the Renaissance. They have that shit they took it from the past and brought it here, and then we still have it. Like they'll have events from the Renaissance.
Yeah,
Francis.
No, I'm gonna be honest. So everyone has seen Monday Night Raw at this point. Hopefully, if not, stop listening to us. Get to watching that, then start listening to us again.
You're going to be really confused if you don't.
True. But, guys, let's talk about that ending segment for a second between Cody and The Rock. Blood is back.
The Rock fucking tried to murder a man again.
Yeah. Guys, Blood is back.
He had the custom weight belt made that said Mama Rhodes.
That's still fucked up.
That is so fucked. But you had that. You had The Rock beating the ever-living piss out of Cody Rhodes in the parking lot. And then The Rock dropped a fucking F-bomb on live television. Granted, they censored it. But apparently, according to videos that I've seen, thanks to the glorious interwebs, they did not censor it for the crowd.
Oh.
So
he got away with that shit then.
People in the audience got to hear The Rock say, "You don't fuck with the final boss."
Oh shit!
Because obviously, live TV they have because live TV they have their delay, like the 8-second delay, so they were able to censor it in time for the live feed. But
cowards!
Holy shit! the pop from the crowd, it was insane because people lost their minds when that came over the speakers.
And not only is that, but Cody. I've said it multiple times already, but Cody's bleeding. Blood is back in WWE.
Like a stuck pig.
And
whether it was a blade or he got colored the hard way, I don't know.
With the amount of blood that was pouring, I think he might have bladed.
I wouldn't be shocked, especially because like he wasn't shy about it in AEW. When he was in AEW, he was blading. You know, that was just, he was like, "Fuck it, I'm doing it." So I wouldn't be shocked, and like it wouldn't surprise me, especially since it was like a recorded segment that they did that kind of thing. But yeah, it was. I don't know if it's going to be back. Like blading will be back in the matches. I think they still, like as we saw like these past couple of years, like during the PG era, they would stop a match if someone got cut open, because like if they were bleeding the hard way, unless it was like not serious, but like if they were like bleeding, they would stop the match. But I feel like these past couple of years, especially since Vince left, if someone starts bleeding, they tend to just leave it alone. So
it looks cool.
Not even that it looks cool. It's just a matter of like, they trust the guys to do their shit, and, like not die.
Scotty, before you go,
no, wait. I'm sorry. This has to, because this will help in a statement that he said, saying we're probably not going to see that later in the future. And I'm going to have to completely disagree, because later in the future, we're not going to have this no longer on cable. It's going to be on Netflix.
That is true.
Netflix but does not care about cursing and blood because they have it in their own. So it's going to, as it goes on, they're going to stretch it, and it's going to go farther. We're not going to see it a lot, but we're going to see it more. And it's going to get more and more throughout the year until the next year hits, and then we might make it's not going to be fully PG anymore. It's going to officially transition to like
good point.
Maybe PG-13, maybe like what, TV 17 plus, TV 14,
17 plus.
No.
Okay, Scott's hoping for like TVMA wrestling now. Like,
I mean,
if they're cursing and they're letting them bleed.
That's the whole thing. It's a matter of like where they are, because like then that means like you'll probably get that more on Raw and obviously on the PLEs, but not as much on SmackDown, but it also depends on because SmackDown is going back to USA, I believe.
Yes, I don't know when, but they are going back.
I believe beginning of next year they are.
Well, I know that's when the Netflix deal starts. I think USA starts before that. I want to say like October, but I could be wrong. Anyway, point being, it depends on what USA is going to be okay with. And because like I can't imagine like they might not turn around and say like, hey, don't do that. But it wasn't even a matter of like the TV deals that took it away. It was Vince not wanting the guys to do it as much, because like the blading culture was, very much an 80s and 90s thing, and maybe like the early 2000s.
Definitely.
But then in like the mid 2000s, it definitely started going away.
So,
and that definitely, I don't feel like it had to do with TV. I think it had more to do with Vince not wanting his guys to bleed like a freaking sacrificial lamb all over the ring.
So here's.
I also felt like it was just the more like more of the like control over what's being shown and what. At that time it was also other TV shows that were taking big hits that like we weren't seeing anymore, like Cartoon Network, and I'll just say for Cartoon Network's sake, it was raunchy. It wasn't raunchy, but there was some stuff that only your parents would know when we were at that young age, not knowing anything.
No, yeah, 100%.
And I felt like we got less of that when we went on, because now we're getting stupid shit.
Yeah, but that's a topic for a different day.
That's a topic for a different day and a different show.
I think it also has to do with the fact that blading was just so overdone at that point.
So
because you had guys like Ric Flair and Shawn Michaels who would do it like on a weekly basis.
So when he nicked a vein in his forehead.
Yeah, I think that was a big part of it. Why Vince wanted them to stop doing it too.
And I mean, not only that, but like you have situations like with New Jack too and stuff like that. Like he made there was a whole situation behind that.
No, yeah, New Jack would always like really cut in deep when it came to that kind of shit. Like permanently scarred his forehead.
I'm gonna be perfect. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Don, but I gotta get this out.
No, you're good.
I don't mind if Blood comes back once in a while. I don't want to see like a. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about like them going back to blading, though. To be honest with you, I don't know how I feel about that. Because on one hand, yes, if you see, if you see a character like Cody bleeding and stuff like that,
it's like, oh my god.
I feel like I'm okay with blood if it adds to the story. Because if we're just blading for the sake of blading, then we're just like, these independent shows you see on Instagram and stuff like that, where they're like, hitting each other with weed whackers and shit like that, and their entire bodies covered in blood and shit.
Or like you guys said earlier, a second tier wannabe New Jack match.
Yeah, true. But that's the whole thing. That's the whole thing.
Because, like I said, like it was so overdone at one point. Like it was every match had blood. Like everyone was bleeding, everyone was bleeding. If they bring it back and it's simply just for dramatic effect only on certain occasions, I don't think I would be like too upset.
Yeah, don't turn it like a John Moxley situation.
Yeah, because because WWE's never gonna do like death matches. They're never gonna pull that kind of stuff where it's like guys are going through light bulbs and shit.
No, they don't need to do that shit though.
Yeah. No, it's just like you barely ever see thumbtacks anymore. But in all fairness, nobody wants to bump on tacks. It fucking
people
sucks.
might get.
I gotta
People might get mad. People might get mad if I say this, but I feel like the wrestlers that were mostly responsible for all the crazy stunts and crazy breakings are mostly the ones that didn't know how to wrestle, and so they had to put on the show somehow. And they thought blood and in shattered noises it makes everything better.
True, but like even in those cases though, like there's still people who knew how to do it well. There are people in ECW that bled a lot, but like they knew how to do it well. They knew how to like make it add to the story. If Mick Foley started bleeding and shit like that, it's because it added.
Those were also the ones that succeeded in WWE because they were also more than just a wrestler. They can cut promos, they can talk. Like a lot of people in ECW and ECW WCW were like.
It's hard to say back.
There was a lot. There was a lot of them that weren't really that talented. So there, you can put on a good show. You can entertain people easily when you're doing something crazy. Because we can easily be entertained in that way.
WCW had a lot of talented guys. It's just that they were being booked by morons.
True.
ECW agree. ECW had some really good wrestlers. RVD,
Tommy Dreamer, RVD, Mick Foley.
Yeah, but all those went to WWE.
CM Punk.
Better than just. It was not majority. It's not like all of them. Like
those are the few
that you can select from, but like majority of them were like untalented.
No, yeah, that I get what Scott's saying. Like he's basically saying like there was guys that were really good all-round wrestlers that could do like the crazy shit, but also do a good 5-minute basic bare bones match and make it look good. And then there were guys that were doing big spots just for big spots' sake.
Sandman, Mikey Whipwreck, Axl Rotten,
and then the people that were good at everything went to WWE, and the people that were bad at everything went and created TNA.
Or went to the Indies.
That was WCW, but your point still stands, Scott. Here's a question I want to ask you guys. You think we're going to see any blood during either one of the Mania main events?
Yes.
Yes.
Cody's going to bleed.
Yeah. Cody is going to gush.
Somebody's going to bleed in the Logan match, I think.
But that's
I don't think the Logan match is going to have any blood.
Nah, there's no reason to bleed during that match.
If anyone bleeds during the Logan match, it's by accident.
I would say it would be Logan. I would say Logan they would make Logan be like, "Are you taking a cut?"
We want to see Logan bleed.
100%. But who's scarier to do it from than Randy Orton and KO?
Yeah, but that's the whole thing. It's like I said, for a Mania, for like a WrestleMania, I could see them like allowing certain guys to do it. Like if Cody said, "Hey, I want a blade in the match against Roman," I can't imagine like they'd be like, "All right."
Yeah, that's
you know. I can't imagine they would say no because of how big of a moment. Excuse me. How big of a moment it is.
Yeah,
and
it
like,
would add.
It's the main event, and you want that like dramatic effect, and like, there's always that like concept there. But like they're not gonna let like fucking AJ Styles do it in his match because it's like there's no title on the line. It's probably gonna be. I doubt it'll be a show opener, but it's gonna be like somewhere in the middle because it's like you gotta have like.
Could be like one of those. Kind of thing. Could be like one of those matches that just breaks all of the. Gives people a bit of a break.
Yeah, exactly.
I hate to say that about an LA Knight match, but like
Oh yeah, because the match is going to be great, and I'm not by any means saying it's going to be a piss break match.
Oh no,
but it's 100% going to be like one of those matches that's like, there's no title on the line. It's just a feud. It's just going to be a wrestling match.
I see it being like second or third, something like that.
I think it's going to be like close to the middle, but like in the first half.
Yeah.
The people sitting in the stands can go get their food.
I literally just said that it's not that kind of match.
Yeah,
no, not a piss break match. Like they don't
but then you just said that. It's basically a piss break.
I didn't say that.
Doesn't even remember what he said.
A piss break match. A piss break match is literally just the match that you get up out of your seat.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah. No, I take
go somewhere else. That's not.
There is no piss break back.
There is
no piss break match at WrestleMania. They're all going to be. And this isn't going to be like.
They all are. Yes.
This isn't 5 years ago where there's going to be some. This is going to be fucking. Oh, I really have to go. It's been 4 hours since I had to go. I'll risk the health risks because I have to stay and watch this.
This is the only time it will ever be acceptable for there to be buckets under the seats.
Not even that. At that point, at that point, that's because they're gonna have like those long ass fucking promo packages, like the
yes,
like hyping up the next match. That's when you go, like run, motherfucker, get up out of your seat and go. Hurry up.
When they're announcing next year's WrestleMania, go.
Yeah, you got shit like that, or like like you probably like the amount of times I've seen Hulk Hogan in this past month on my screen. Thanks to WWE 2K24, or they're like I know he's in the Bray documentary, so there's and like I wouldn't be shocked if he shows up at Mania.
Grandpa Terry.
Yeah. I'm like, why do they keep showing you? Like, what are you doing?
Why do you think, Tom?
Well, here's the reason, brother.
But you get my point. It's like someone's gonna come out and be like, "Oh, we set a record on attendance and blah 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 blah." So why do you go pee then?
True. I can't believe we've had like a 3-minute conversation about the bowel movements of the WrestleMania audience.
Let me. I'll bring it back to Cody
because we're an edgy show now.
No, but I understand. And to bounce it off, because I know people mention this, because halfway through I was kind of thinking it myself. We do recognize that there was blood in WWE before what The Rock did, but this is the first time that it was like purposely like, oh, we kind of feel like that was purposely done. Yeah. Instead of it being, I'll shoot it out there because not the hard way. Instead of it being a psychopath like Brock Lesnar and purposely and just going way too over the top and the stunts he will do will cause them to bleed.
That's like what Orton I mean by the hard way. That's the hard way. Yeah, the hard way is without a razor blade.
It wasn't. Yeah, but I can't say the hard way when it was only one person.
True.
No, it's a terminology, Scott. When
no, I know, but like, I can't say the hard way because it was only Brock Lesnar doing it. I had to shoot him out. His name out there.
The whole terminology of the hard way means it literally just means without a razor blade.
No, yeah, I get the hard way. It makes I understood it. It's hard to say the hard way when it was one person.
Working stiff.
Yeah. All right, but so there's that. Listen, I'm fine with blood coming back. Just make it actually mean something. Exactly. Like don't just bleed because you have it in your body. Something else that's coming back though, and I'm actually way more excited about this, is the return of the promo. A good promo. A good
less scripted promo.
Scripted promo. Yeah. So
it truly is an art form, and not everybody is good at it.
True. as we've seen, especially I feel like over the past couple of weeks we've been seeing it, the reins have become looser on guys.
Shut up.
On people in general. But we're really starting to see the promo coming back, the art of the promo coming back, I would say.
Yeah, less of here's your script, say this, and more
awkwardly working a catchphrase.
Not even that, but more of, hey, here's a talking point, go, figure it out.
And I feel like it started with the greatest love triangle we all love, the love triangle of CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, and Seth Rollins.
Well, it really started to return when CM Punk came back. I'd say
Drew loves Punk, Punk loves Rollins, and Rollins
doesn't give a fuck about either one of them.
Could care less about either one of them.
He has to like constantly yell at him and give him.
They're all just so tsundere for each other.
Yeah.
That's true. But I'm going to be honest with you. So I've seen that entire segment that Scott's talking about. This is probably one of the best promo segments I've seen in years.
A very long time.
It was 20 minutes long. I could have seen another 20 minutes, to be perfectly honest with you.
And it felt like real. Like, it didn't feel like this was a forced, scripted conversation. Like, yeah, obviously they had the thing, like, go out there and say your bit and this and that. This is what you have to talk about.
Announce Punk his own commentary and stuff like that.
Script. Like, gone are the days of Roman Reigns saying suffer and succotash. Like, what? Like, that, to this day, aggravates my entire fucking soul.
Never
Because
forget.
I'm like, what person in their right mind saw that in a script and said, yeah, we could have our champion say this on live television and not look like a fucking retard.
Vince McMahon.
I don't even. I'm lucky enough to have only seen it once, and I can't even get the image in my head of him saying that doesn't appear. So the only way I know about it and hear it is coming from Dom's mouth, and it just sounds terrible because I can't really. Yeah. My brain shut that out. It's like you can't listen to that. So
and I can't
even image it.
If you watch that video, because it is a clip everywhere on the internet, if you watch that clip, and you could see the pain in his eyes when he has to say it.
Are you seeing the pain in his eyes, or are you just looking in the mirror and seeing the pain back in your eyes?
A little bit of both.
I mean, out of the whole time of having your protected privilege of your family, to be like, I'm not doing this. You do it when we want you to appear the most, instead of when we're like, no, I won't say this.
No, in all fairness, that was years ago.
He should have been. But he should have been like, no, I'm not title.
No, now he doesn't have to. Now his promos are good.
Yeah.
His promos are
better than they used to be.
His promos are fine.
I don't think they're good still, but they're better.
They're not great.
They are
They're
fine.
not suffering succotash, and that's all we could ever hope for.
Yeah.
No, I say this.
All Roman does now, it's better because all he does now is he does that confused, I gotta go to the bathroom type smile that shows his teeth for 10 minutes, and then he just insert insult, and then that's it. It's better.
His promos, especially in the later half of his title run, this most recent title run, has just been, I'm gonna sit here and gaslight the fuck out of you.
Now it's just been taking a back seat to the row.
So I mean,
that too.
Yeah, true. I'm gonna be honest with you. Out of all four, and I've said this a couple of times, I think I've said this on the show. Out of all four of them, Roman might be the least entertaining out of all of them.
Might?
Yeah, he is. He is.
A little bit.
Only because I'm not sure if
At least with The Rock, you could look forward to his promos.
Yeah.
This feels like it's more like The Rock versus Cody. And then Roman's just there. And Seth is also just there.
Because
Seth is there just because why not?
That's the reason I say might, because I don't understand why Seth is involved in this at all.
I just said we need Drew to do the run-in on Saturday
The whole reason he's involved now is because they were going to have Cody go after Seth instead, and then when the fans turned on The Rock's idea. At least The Rock did the one thing that Vince McMahon never did, and listened, and said, "Well, okay, well they don't want me and Roman, they want Cody and Roman. So how do we pivot?"
As much as people would want to convince that, oh no, that was the storyline the whole time. No, it was on a Friday night, and you got lucky that there was a weekend behind you to be like, all right, we fucked up.
It 100% wasn't. There was no way in hell that was the plan from the beginning.
No,
it was The Rock pitched the match. And because he's the boss, they're like, okay, well, this is what we'll do. Did their thing. The fans hated it. The Rock heard it and was like, all right, let's pivot. He gave us what we wanted. We got Roman versus Cody. But he put his twist on it because he still wants his WrestleMania moment. And can you blame him? No.
Yes, because he had
unless your name's Scott Bash.
You're done. Take the Stone Cold route.
All right, shut the fuck up.
Take the Stone Cold.
Yeah, take the Stone Cold route. Come out of retirement and fight Kevin Owens. Whatever.
No. If you want to have a spotlight, you take the Stone Cold route, and you'd be like, you know what? I'll take a spot where you need to like clear things out, and I can fit in that schedule. Not give me a title shot with Roman Reigns just because I'm back for the first time in 15 years. Like, okay, no.
Anyway. Agree to disagree.
That's not how it works.
But that's been a match that people have been wanting.
Yes, people have been pushing. We wanted that match this year if Cody won last year.
So
but now he has to wait because they decided to keep Cody moving.
Point being, he at least listened to the fans and said, "I'll give you what you want." Right. So now, realistically. You have that whole press conference. Honestly, it was perfectly executed, in my opinion, because you had that press conference, you had The Rock turn heel.
Yeah, that was good.
Right?
Yeah, that was really good.
You have Cody come and rain on the parade of The Rock and Roman, as he said, the wank fest in his promo, which is, I was like, fucking A, let's go.
He's talking like one of us.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like, he comes in, he rains on the Rock's parade and says, "No, you want to fight him? Fuck you! I'm fighting him because I won the Royal Rumble, not you.
Yeah.
I did."
Yeah.
Right. So you have that, and then, so Seth was already out there because they were going to be like, "Oh, Cody's going to come out and challenge Seth Rollins," so send Seth Rollins out there, and Seth Rollins was quick to defend Cody, so it makes sense why he's there still, but at the same time, I get but. Long-term storytelling.
Triple H loves that shit.
Yes, and another part of long-term storytelling that I love now that we have Triple H in charge of creative instead of Vince McMahon, wrestlers have a memory again.
Yeah.
Oh.
They're not forgetting shit that happened a fucking week ago.
Yeah, no, yeah.
They're like, hey, I remember when you fucked me over 6 months ago.
Yeah,
you notice it in the smallest places because if you notice,
and there's always shit going on in the background of the backstage segments. You ever notice that shit?
Yeah, but those are that's details. That's attention to detail. Because let's be perfectly honest, I've always thought it was so weird that two wrestlers are interacting with one another and there is just not a soul to be found around them.
There's nobody around. I'm like, fuck you. I used to work at Madison Square Garden. That shit was busy.
Shit, have some crew around or something at least. But how is it possible that you find the places that there's not another living soul around?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was when they were that's when they were they were emphasizing we go live. We're a live brand. And it's so you're live, but there's not people around trying to keep this afloat. Everybody's
you're going live with no crew?
Sit there. There was crew members with paperwork standing with each other, just talking, they were just doing something, whatever.
The one that I want to point out right here, real quick, is there was a segment. To be honest, I forgot who was on the freaking screen because I wasn't even paying attention. I was looking in the background. There was a moment during a backstage segment, and you could see Paul Heyman was talking to Drew McIntyre.
Yeah.
Very urgently. And I'm like, what the fuck is happening?
He finds a new client.
Yeah, I was about
But
to
that's
say.
what I'm saying. I'm like, is Drew
Plan B?
McIntyre about to become a Paul Heyman guy?
It was either going to be him or a Breaker after WrestleMania.
Oh my god, I would love
Could
Breaker
be both,
Paul
to be
Heyman
honest.
guy. Yeah.
Could be both. He's done multiple.
Braun Breaker would be perfect because he's probably, I don't know if I haven't really watched NXT, but I'm not going to question his promos, but I feel like he's needed more for his promos with all of them.
He's fine.
His uncle, he doesn't go to
I'm gonna put it this way. He definitely cuts a better promo than his father and his uncle did. But
it's not as good as Drew McIntyre.
You could still tell he's a Steiner.
Yeah.
Oh God.
I mean, we're not reaching Steiner math here yet, but
no,
it's
in there.
We're getting close.
He kind of goes on diatribes about stuff.
Like he has that coked out scream. Even though he's not coked up, but
he's not. That's just how he talks.
You can see that he wants to yell about somebody's fat asses. Fat asses all around and look at me. I just see these fat asses. That's him on the inside.
Oh God! You know what?
I'm waiting for the day that he turns around and calls himself a genetic freak. I'm gonna lose my mind.
Genetic freak, and I'm not normal.
What? I don't know that he's go that far because again, let's remember this is Rick's kid, not Scott.
It's fucking still in his blood.
He's still a Steiner.
Yeah.
It's in there.
He's a better Frankensteiner than either one of them.
For real.
All right.
The kid's a crazy athlete. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah. We
go back to
initial topic
because we didn't really talk about him that much, but the CM Punk, Rollins, and McIntyre promo was just, I said this earlier before we started recording, and it's just that whole promo was just like 15 minutes, but there was not a single part of it where I was like cringed. There wasn't a part of it that I didn't want to hear. There wasn't any part that I was like, why were they doing this? Like with the movement, with the blocking, promo, with the way they interacted, it was perfectly put together.
That promo was a work of art.
It was, and it's proof that they're going in a new direction, a direction that Dom mentioned, and I'm gonna agree with. You can't give these people a script to read, to be honest with you, because give them talking points, give them things to talk about, but after that, just let them go, let them riff, let them go off the cuff. And
TKO is probably having the same. They're thinking like, oh, let's give them the same approach that UFC fighters do.
True, because I'm noticing that more and more in UFC as well. Like, it's not scripted by any means, but they definitely have talking points.
Yeah.
So, and I'm gonna be honest with you, when it specifically comes to CM Punk, he is the perfect person for something like this. He is you can say what you want about his attitude and how people can talk about like his body breaking down now and stuff like that. When it comes to the mic, when it comes to a microphone, he's one of the best. If he's not the best, he is one of the best. And you saw that. You saw that because
man cuts a phenomenal promo.
Because I'm gonna level with you when
bombs for a reason.
Because I'm gonna level with you when it comes to this world heavyweight title match. Now, I'm probably gonna be more invested in him on commentary than I am gonna be in the actual match.
He helped close the gap in interest between both the titles.
Yeah.
Now everybody's going to be like, what's going to happen during that title match? That he's going to be at commentary. Because I know damn well they're not going to make him just sit there and commentate the whole time.
No, somebody's going to happen where...
Screwed. Yeah. Somebody's getting screwed over.
Whether it's Drew or Seth, I don't know. But does he hit a spot of some kind at some point?
Yeah.
I feel like if CM Punk screws over, this is just a prediction. if CM Punk screws over Drew, I feel like that's the sign of Drew not signing.
It's a possibility. It depends on if I don't know,
because it's a big FU. You didn't get your moment at the end.
Yeah,
like you ruined my WrestleMania moment. I ruined yours.
And they're not going to give him a title, obviously, if he doesn't renew. And that's besides the point.
Yeah.
And I do want to talk. Speaking of Drew, I know I brought it up earlier today, but I think one of my favorite lines from that entire promo is when Drew mockingly sits on the commentary table, like mimicking Punk's pipe bomb, and he looks at the camera and says, "Don't film up my kilt, you perv." Like, I laughed way harder than I probably should have at that line. But the fact that they're letting them do that, like that, they never would have scripted that. That's something that Drew thought of in that moment as he was sitting down. Like, the cameraman's right there. This is a perfect opportunity to say this. And he said it, and it worked. And obviously, you know, they never would have let him do that when Vince was still around.
Yeah, no, they wouldn't have. Weirdly enough, I barely remember them even acknowledging the cameraman.
Yeah, the only person that could have gotten away with that was like Cena.
And
talking about,
maybe The Rock.
Talking about perfect setups. What about the setup between CM Punk to Drew when Drew says, "I'm the chosen one," and CM Punk goes, "Really?
Oh yeah.
Who chose you? The chosen?
Who chose you?
Who chose you? Give me your name. Give me his name." Bro, the look on Drew's face, he was like, "You little piece of shit. You know I can't fucking..." He's like, "You know I can't mention his name.
I'm not going to bring him up."
That's true.
Like,
we're talking about...
shut him off.
I mean, we're talking about perfect setups here. I'll give you another one. Seth Rollins, telling the crowd, CM Punk can't really ref. As you can see, his body is not really for it right now. Gets on the floor, starts tapping 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
It was beautiful.
Yeah.
No, it was great.
Oh, man.
They were forcibly trying to get them to stop talking. On purpose, they were trying to get them, "I want you to stop doing a promo. I want to roast you instead."
Yeah.
I miss wrestlers being dicks in promos.
That too. But, like, on top of that, I'm honestly shocked they're not going to have him as, like, a special guest referee or something like that. Especially because they brought it back in 2K24. There's, like, special guest referee mode. You would think that they would be like, "Hey, let's do that at Mania, since we're showcasing it in the game now."
Yeah, but, like, as they said, Punk can't be impartial to either one of these guys.
That makes him perfectly impartial. He doesn't like
it.
He's perfectly impartial.
You wanted... Hey, guess what? Somebody's name just got brought back because he was, I don't know if he was, but he looks like he's looked like he's heading towards the innocent lane. But how about you just make Brock Lesnar a special guest ref?
He would. I don't think Lesnar
would
ever.
He's been
special guest referee.
Yeah, but
that doesn't make any storytelling sense.
But also, like, why?
Yes, but the last 2-3 years, what Brock Lesnar hasn't been really doing stuff that Brock Lesnar would normally do. He's been wearing cowboy stuff. He's been going like...
No, that is what...
No, that's what he wants. Like...
Because he just wants to be himself and, like, fucking fuck around and then kick someone's ass. Like, he doesn't want to be... Like, because you could see it in his face. Like, the most recent runs he's had has been the happiest he's ever fucking been in the WWE.
It's also the most personality.
Gets to be himself. Yeah, because he just gets to be himself. Cowboy Brock has been best Brock. Like, that was just... he's not being pushed as, like, a big fucking machine. Yeah. Now he's just this big fucking doofy cowboy that can whip anybody's ass because he can.
I don't know about doofy. He's still...
But you get what I'm saying? Like, no, but he's been doing, like, some doofy shit. Like,
He's like the final Brock Lesnar tier.
Like, it's proven that he's... It's proven that he has way more... Tractor. It's proven that he has way more of a personality than they've been letting on that he does. And I'm on Dom's side. I absolutely appreciate that. I think this is the most I've enjoyed Brock Lesnar in years. But as far as him coming back as a ref, it doesn't make any sense.
But yeah, having him come back as a special guest referee doesn't make sense in a storytelling point of view. I mean, they could do it if it's like the only way I could imagine them doing it is like if they had some kind of match where he would just get involved in. But like, I can't imagine them pushing him on anybody outside of
I can't think
Roman
of anything.
Reigns or Seth Rollins.
And for the love of God, no.
Yeah. And we got those already.
Because like I know like a big thing, like there were some whispers going around before everything went down and he had to be pulled from everything, about him going after Gunther. But I'm like, I can't picture Brock walking around with the IC title.
No. It would be entirely to push Gunther.
Exactly. It would be, he would do it because, and I'm sure, because from what I've heard, Brock is the kind of guy to put someone over for that, like to do that for somebody.
True.
So,
but yeah, overall, I'm happy to see that, the art form of the promo is coming back, and I'm glad to see that, you know, it's reaching beyond just The Rock.
Yeah.
and John Cena.
And John Cena, whenever he comes back. Which, you know, WrestleMania is coming around. You never know.
Oh, I'm sure he'll be at Mania.
Yeah, he'll do something.
Like I said, like, you know, we all know he signed like a long-term contract that said he was going to be around for several months. So
True. We'll see. Anyway,
What a guy.
Anyway, so Francis actually had this idea for our next segment coming up. Don't make me regret this.
you're fired.
That was my idea. Too bad, Francis. Now it was my idea.
No,
Fucker.
no, I'm the host of the show. It's my idea now. Actually, you know what? Now it's Dom's. Now it was Dom's idea because he's the only one that hasn't claimed it yet.
It was actually my cat's idea. Sorry.
Oh God. So anyway, 40th WrestleMania coming up. We've been watching wrestling for a pretty long damn time now. A lot of in my own personal case, a lot of my own personal relationships are. A lot of it is because of wrestling. It's how I met my It's how I met my best friend, who surprisingly enough is on this show. It's how I met. It's actually how me and Dom met as well.
And Scott.
And Scott, yeah, true. It's how I met all of you. It's how I met my girlfriend.
It brings people together.
We thought it'd be a fun idea to talk about our favorite WrestleMania match. Scott Bash, I'm going to start it off with you because we were talking about it before we started recording. What is your favorite WrestleMania match?
Well, definitely being biased here because you usually choose your favorite wrestler's match, but I would like to say, because this was the beginning of the panicked moment in WrestleMania in a WrestleMania history of The Undertaker losing his WrestleMania streak. And I feel like the first time that actually we got an oh my god moment, because this was a storyline that was being told for 4 years with between 3 people, and it was a Hell in a Cell match with Undertaker, Triple H, with Shawn Michaels as the ref.
That's a good one.
Also probably one of the best storytellings in all of history. I would put in the top 5 if you add, give or take, it was the past 4 years. It was a 4-year stretch between that whole storyline with them. So
I will agree. That was a good one. That was a really good one.
Yeah, because it was mainly the fact that like when at the time they were Triple H and Shawn Michaels was the ending part of the Generation X when they were tag teams, and they were so deadly as a duo because they had the sweet chin and pedigree combo.
And taking out at the literal last possible second.
The match was already going on for 40, 45 minutes. They've already kicked out. The Undertaker have already kicked out of of moves that he already shouldn't have. That normal storytelling would normally be like, all right, you're done. But insanely tired, he gets sweet chin music from Shawn Michaels, who's the ref, because of what The Undertaker did to Shawn during the match. It was a previous thing. And Triple H goes for the pedigree, and the whole crowd, you can just feel it. You're like, damn, this is it. Nobody's going to kick out of this. This was unstoppable. And then you don't hear a 3 count. And it was just like, what the fuck did we just, like, that was like one of the biggest moments of a definition of The Undertaker. If you want to define who he was, it was at that moment. Because it was like, what the fuck am I going to do to take him down? And it never happened until,
Best near fall ever?
One of.
Best near fall. One of. I can't say the best, but one of. Because there's definitely been really good near falls.
And that match, they promoted that as like the end of an era.
Yeah, because I think The Undertaker was done being full-time at that point. Shawn and Triple H started becoming the COO. And Shawn was gone officially because, he was gone already because he had a retirement match with The Undertaker, which was part of the storyline, which is, I told you, the 4-year storyline, which was longer than Francis's never-ending story right now.
That made 0 sense, but okay.
Dom, since we're talking to you. Speaking of which, Dom, since we're talking to you, tell me your favorite WrestleMania match, dude.
Okay, like Scott, I am severely biased. Not because of any favorite wrestlers, but because I got to witness this one live. The main event from 20. So the Triple H, Shawn Michaels, Chris Benoit title match. Which
hey, you said the forbidden name.
Can we mention him on the end?
Listen, we're not getting paid by WWE. I could say Chris Benoit all I want.
It's true, you can.
That's true.
It's damn true.
I mean, if they wanted to pay us, though,
If they want to pay us, then I'll stop talking about Benoit. But until then, I'm talking about him. Damn it.
Hintity, hint.
Yeah. Not only because the match was, in my opinion, a 5-star fucking barn burner of a match, but it had such a good build. For anyone listening who hasn't watched wrestling since the early 2000s, might not know who Chris Benoit is or what he did, because WWE will never talk about him. By no means am I justifying or dramatizing what he did. What he did was terrible, and I do not condone it. But I do respect the man. I do respect his work in the ring. Other than that, the build was absolutely fucking phenomenal. Like, you had Benoit winning the 2004 Royal Rumble. He went bell to bell. He came in as number 1, defeated 29 other guys.
Which, sorry, Dom, which I would like to mention, they didn't mention that during
they won't.
Previous Royal Rumble, which when they said there was only 2 people, there wasn't only 2, there was 3.
It's 3. Unfortunately, because of his crime.
For those of you who don't know,
asterisk next to his name, the man murdered his family and killed himself.
Yeah.
So, but that is.
Yeah. No, sorry.
I'm gonna leave it at that. Yeah.
Yeah. Continue. Sorry.
We'll leave it at that. So it was a big surprise when he showed up on Raw, because he was a SmackDown superstar. So when he showed up on Raw to challenge Triple H, and it was like, holy shit. And then you had Shawn Michaels popped in and was like, no. I'm fighting him at WrestleMania, not you. And it was
I never lost.
Thing. Exactly. So, excuse me. It was just absolutely phenomenal. The build-up, getting ready. Everyone thought Shawn Michaels was going to win that match, to be honest. I really don't think anyone anticipated Benoit winning. So many people were like, it's either Shawn Michaels or Triple H. Benoit's just there to be there.
He was the Daniel Bryan of that area.
He really was.
He really time was. Zone.
Granted, I remember, like, insanely vividly. The entire crowd was chanting for Benoit. He was like, it was such an underdog story. It was like almost too good to be true. And I remember just watching that match, watching these three dudes kill each other. You know, Shawn Michaels was bleeding all over the ring. Triple H was bleeding all over the ring. Benoit somehow didn't get cut open. He was just covered in the other two guys' blood.
Ew.
Yeah, well. But to have that match, it was just wild. And like watching it as an 11-year-old kid, seeing him hoist that belt, the big gold, and the confetti coming down at the end of the night in Madison Square Garden and everything. It was like, you know, I didn't realize at the time that I was like watching history, especially now, how taboo it is, especially for the WWE. They'll never talk about it. So it's like one of those things it's there. Like, you could still watch it. Like, if you go watch WrestleMania 20, like, it's not like they're going to just cut the match out, because it was a huge integral part of history. But like Scott said, whenever they talk about championship reigns, Royal Rumble winners, this and that, he's gone. But that match was absolutely phenomenal. Watching Triple H tap out. Also, like, not even that it was a pin. He tapped out to the crippler crossface. And then you had, like I said, that moment of Benoit holding the title up. Eddie Guerrero came out, and like, because he had also defended his title earlier in the night. So the two guys who were, you know, unfortunately they're gone now, but two legendary wrestlers. Watching that match.
Two legendary wrestlers at one point. Both of them, they both had the same scrutiny against them. Is they didn't think, none of them thought they were main event material.
No. And not
even Eddie Guerrero was thought of at that point, because they understood his talent, but they didn't think it was that level.
No, because you got to remember, these are also guys. WWE didn't create these guys; they came in from other companies.
WCW, yeah.
Thank you. But that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, they came in when WCW got bought out, so it was like they weren't treated the same. Like, same thing with Booker T. You know, they weren't treated like, you know, these are our guys, we're going to build them up. It was very much like, hey, you're here. You made it. You got over, and you know how to put on a good match. So, you know, we'll stick you in the mid-card. And they fought their way to the top. You know, especially Benoit wasn't like a big dude. Like, he was strong, but he wasn't like cut up. He wasn't like, you know.
If you wanted someone to play the Wolverine, he could be a perfect Wolverine.
Yeah, exactly that. And he was short. He wasn't like your typical WWE superstar of the time who was like 6'2" and jacked out of his mind. You know, like Eddie was that. Like, he was still a little short compared to some of the other guys, but he looked good. You know, Benoit, you know, he wasn't like super toned out, and like I said, he was short. I think he was only like 5'9", 5'10" at the most.
I don't remember,
because I know he definitely wasn't 6 feet tall.
No,
but you know, he looks more like a modern day superstar. You know, like, he's not the most muscular, he's not the tallest guy, but damn, the guy could work.
No, that was that's a really good one, man. That's a really good one.
Like I said, I know I'm a little biased on that one.
I mean, we're literally talking about our favorite matches.
The whole point of this is to be biased.
The whole point of this is to be biased.
I feel like Francis, when you go, I feel like you're not going to be biased. I think
No,
you're really
I'm
going to choose
biased. No, I'm gonna be super fucking biased.
I'm not gonna lie, I was very torn between that and the Undertaker Kane match from the same WrestleMania, from WrestleMania 20.
True.
Because that was also really fucking cool to watch.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Francis, we're on you, so.
Yep.
You don't want to go ahead of me, Kat?
Nope. I'm saving mine for last.
All right, so there are a lot of really great Mania matches to choose from. Taker HBK from 25. D-Bry getting the big one at 30. Dom, what you just said. Benoit getting the big one at 20. But for me, we're going to rewind the clock back to the ancient year of 2007 at WrestleMania 23. My very first WrestleMania, which is also funny because that was also around the time I started watching wrestling. I became a wrestling fan when they were getting ready for WrestleMania.
You said way back, but it's literally to the future because I think the Benoit match was before that. But continue.
It was the Benoit match. WrestleMania 20 was in 2004.
That's not what I meant, but okay. It's time. You know, it's fucking time grammar. Who cares anymore? Fucking time grammar.
Even I was gonna say, like, what the hell, guys?
Go, Francis. Go.
No, you know Scott just has to fuck with Francis. You know that.
True.
Yeah. So we are going to go back to what I consider to be the best opening match in the history of WrestleMania, and that is the Money in the Bank ladder match for WrestleMania 23. Randy Orton versus Edge versus Punk versus both Hardys versus Booker T versus Finlay versus Mr. Kennedy.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't that the first Money in the Bank?
No, that was
like the second or third, I believe.
Yeah, no.
Didn't Edge win that one though?
No, it was Mr. Kennedy, but then either A, he got injured, or B, he failed a wellness test policy, so
he lost it to Edge.
The briefcase to Edge.
No, but Edge did win the very first one.
Yes.
Oh yeah, no, Edge won the very first one.
Yeah. Because I know he won it twice, I think so. But yeah. Continue.
Once
you
by
can go on.
This was the first WrestleMania I've ever seen, first ladder match I've ever seen. And, like, I had been watching, like, episodes of SmackDown a lot at this point because I was, like, 9 and I wasn't allowed to stay up and watch Raw all the way through because it was a school night. But on Fridays, I could stay up as long as I wanted to, so I would gravitate more towards SmackDown. And I got to get to know all these guys, and I just got to see, like, normal wrestling, like normal matches you would see on an episode of Raw or SmackDown. This match is, I'm not going to sugarcoat it, it is a spot fest in every conceivable definition of the word, but it's a fun spot fest too. You have moments of like the Hardys implying they're going to do to Edge what they did to Joey Mercury, and that's explode his fucking face, or the Hardys try and kill Edge with Jeff doing a leg drop off of a ladder and putting Edge through another ladder and cracking open his sternum, or Matt Hardy taking Booker T's wife hostage when it looked like he was going to grab a briefcase. Jesus Christ, why were the Hardys serial killers in this match?
Wasn't that the one where Shelton Benjamin ran up the ladder for the first time?
That was 24.
No, that was 22.
Oh, 22, my bad.
24 is where Benjamin went through the fucking ladder.
I believe they started that spot at 23.
They did. They started the, hey, let's put someone through the ladder spot at 23. And it blew my fucking mind.
It was awesome.
It's also really funny when they do those because you could see the wood splintering and you could tell it's just a wooden ladder that they spray painted silver.
Well, yeah, they're not actually going to put a guy through a fucking ladder, Dom.
Well, no, that would be...
No, but I'm saying that's how they work the ladder. You know what I'm saying? It just makes me chuckle. Like, it's like...
Yeah. But Cap, you seen the ladders they used in the PG era? Those can easily be breaking down with like a 20-pound weight.
Listen, in all fairness, most wrestling weapons, especially in like the WWE, are very gimmicked.
Yeah.
Steel chairs are shit. Like they would break if people actually tried to sit in them. That weighed more than like 150 pounds. The tables have no supports.
They're solid halfway through, right?
They're meant to break easily, so it looks more devastated.
True.
The only time they haven't been gimmicked was that time where they fucked up at the Kurt Angle Shane McMahon street fight.
Oh yeah, because it was supposed to be sugar glass and it was real glass.
It was.
They got not just real glass; they got fucking plexiglass.
Don't say real glass. CM Punk will start coming after you.
Yeah. Thanks for making Mania 40 so much better, Jungle Boy.
True, but
yeah, like this is when like 9-year-old me was just watching these guys do a human demolition derby, and I don't know if this speaks about me as a person, but I just loved every fucking second of it. I just love watching these guys try and kill each other in the most impractical ways possible.
That's more than fair, Francis. That's pretty much why everyone watches wrestling.
Yeah.
I can't. I'm sorry. I just it makes me want to hit Francis now. I can't get over the fact that he said he was 9 in 07.
I was. That's how time works.
Yeah, thanks for making us feel old, you fucking prick.
I was fucking 14.
Wait, guys, I was like 10 years old. I
was double digits, motherfucker. That's why I was like, holy fuck.
We were teenagers.
Well, that sounds like
it's not our fault that you guys are old.
Yes, it is.
Dom, now we gotta make a better podcast.
You want to try? Go right ahead.
You make your own podcast with blackjack
and hookers.
Actually, you know what? Forget the podcast.
Forget the podcast.
Just bring that
film podcast. Also, special mention in this match: Randy Orton going on an RKO kill streak.
Yeah, true. I remember that.
I think there's an edit someone made on either YouTube or TikTok, but every time Randy hit an RKO during this, they play the Halo kill streak, Killjoy, Kill-tacular, and Kilimanjaro of Randy Orton just RKO.
Kilimanjaro was always my favorite one.
Yeah.
Godlike!
Oh, God. Oh, man.
No, the one that was the best is when he RKOs Punk off the ladder and you just hear monster kill.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
That's part of the reason why I'm so hyped for the tag match at Mania 40. I miss WrestleMania ladder matches.
I do too, to be honest with you.
That's
why I'm so excited for that. But yeah, no, I share similar nostalgia for that match with Francis. So, it's another great one, dude. Absolutely another great one. All right, so now it comes down to me, and I am gonna take it to WrestleMania 22. Honestly, it's some of my first ever recollections of wrestling, to be honest with you. So despite the conversation we were having earlier about blading and stuff like that, I am a crazy fan of hardcore wrestling. I was a big fan of ECW. I remember, when it was on Sci-Fi. I know it came on at 10 o'clock at night and stuff like that, but I managed to to stay up late without anybody really knowing, and I would be watching it and
keep TV super low, listening for the footsteps, and
yeah. No, that was me, dude. That was 100% me.
That's the one button that shuts the TV off, but not the channel, and
True.
You just fall asleep. Yeah.
True.
Memories.
But no, I was a big fan of ECW. Whenever I would play the video games as a kid, almost every match would have some kind of crazy ass stipulation to it. Just because I just thought it made everything look so cool, man. And one of my favorite wrestlers was Mick Foley. He actually, despite his pinnacle of his popularity being far before I was, watching wrestling, he is somebody who very much influenced how I enjoy wrestling, to be honest with you. And one of something I would consider one of the highlights of my life was Comic-Con at the Javits Center about 2 years ago when I got to meet him in person. So it was a really cool moment. But yeah, when I talk about WrestleMania 22, I'm talking about Mick Foley. We all see where this is going. I'm talking about the hardcore match between Mick Foley and Edge.
Ah, yes. The crazed Canadian with 7 rows of teeth versus Santa Claus with a death wish.
And what's weird is how accurate that is. To be honest with you, I have seen this match multiple times now as an adult. And you want to talk about a spot fest? This was a fucking spot fest, dude.
And spearing Foley through the flaming table and going full knob that afterwards.
Yeah, no. He's talking about it, but that spot where Mick Foley and Edge go through the flaming table, that has become an iconic clip in WWE. And me and Scott were talking about it before the show, but I believe that was also one of the last couple of times that the hardcore title was defended as well.
That wasn't for the hardcore title, I think.
It wasn't? Yes, it was.
Nah, the hardcore title came back later that year after the match, and Edge and Foley were the co-holders of it, and then Mick Foley turned heel and formed a brief faction with Edge and Lita. Yeah, it was weird.
Well, still, man, it's become one of the more iconic images of WWE, and I think because of that, and just because of how much I do admire Mick Foley and Edge too. I am quite an Edge fan, to be honest with you. I definitely think because of the two of them, it really influenced how I look at wrestling and how I tend to enjoy wrestling. And especially with Mick, we talked about it earlier in the show, but he was one of those wrestlers that, yeah, he could bleed. He bleeds a lot. He bled a lot in his career, but it always felt like it added more to whatever it was he was doing. So, yeah, because of that, and just because it's one of my, I would say I would comfortably say it's one of my gateway matches into the world of wrestling, that I would say it's my favorite wrestling match at WrestleMania.
It's a great match.
Yeah, I mean,
so
definitely, yeah, no, that's a great match. Definitely not the worst one out of the 4 that was mentioned.
All right, you know what? Fuck you, man.
No, that was a shot at Francis.
What a shock!
That was you trying to take a shot at Francis, and then somehow you punched me in the face.
Nah. No, I loved that match. One of my favorite during that time zone, that time frame. One of my favorite title. My favorite title was the hardcore title. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They're all bangers, honestly.
100%. They're all amazing.
Except Francis's, but
You guys are fucking geeds. I'm gonna make more fucking 80s references next week just to piss you off.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned next week, Francis, because next week is our WrestleMania go-home show. So please be sure... I love that. So people, please be sure to tune in next week. We are going to go over the WrestleMania card. We're going to talk about our predictions. We're going to talk about We're going to talk about all of the heat going into WrestleMania, and we are going to be giving our thoughts on everything, man. Be sure to also follow us on YouTube and Instagram as well, The Push Wrestling, as we've started posting videos again on YouTube, and we've been posting a bit more than we usually do on Instagram, so be sure to follow us both on that. But yeah, if there's nothing else, we think we're going to wrap up the show here. So for all of us here at The Push, my name is Cap.
I'm Dom.
Top Edge.
And I'm Francis.
See you next week.